Good morning. I'm back. You can't escape me. I return. I'm very tired. Morning. Good morning, itinerant. Hello, Dresvin. I'm very tired. Hi, Muffin. Hang on. Wait. We have a kitty. We have a kitty. Cat. My coffee. Oh, is it stinky? Is my coffee stinky? Void cam. Yeah, it is. It is the void. It's just a furry black amoeba. Oh, are you leaving? Are you leaving? Bye. I wanted to yap about how IsshoCon went because it sure was a trip. We sure picked a weekend to go conventioning. We sure picked a weekend to skip town. I saw the forecast and went, I'm out of here. Thankfully, you know, everything went safe. We arrived safely. We got home safely. But yeah, I wanted to talk about how the trip went. IsshoCon went well overall. It was on Thursday, I literally looked at the forecast Thursday morning before we left, and I was like, all right, so the drive up there is going to be fairly smooth. Like, there's nothing going on. It's not going to snow or rain or anything. The drive back, the forecast for Sunday was Snowmageddon. And I went, there's no way. There's no way we're packing up at 3 p.m. on Sunday, like probably leaving at 4 p.m., and then driving halfway through the dark, because it's gonna get dark at like 6, or earlier, in the snow, as it gets worse going south. Because, like, Michigan didn't get a ton of snow, but the further south you went, the worse it got. So I looked at that forecast, and I immediately called the hotel, and I was like, hey, is there availability to extend my stay until Monday? And thankfully, A, there was, and B, it was actually cheaper than the event rate, because, like, everybody had, like, left. Like, everybody was scheduled to leave on Sunday, so the hotel was basically empty on Monday, so the rate for Monday was thankfully really freaking cheap. So, like, before we even left, I was like, listen, if there's no availability in this hotel, I might have to cancel. But thankfully I was able to extend my stay until Monday, and talking to several of the artists and some of the attendees also, they did the same thing. So a lot of people ended up staying until Monday. So that went all right. Thankfully, we were able to avoid driving in the snow. Michigan already got its snow before you left. It got some on Sunday. It was actually not okay, so I'll get to it, but they modified the hours of the convention on Sunday because of the weather. Oh, let me pull up a booth photo for you. So yeah, the drive to IsshoCon thankfully was very smooth. Nothing went wrong. We did have to drive through a town where our last car basically blew up. Like the oil pump or something stopped working in the middle of the highway. And we were driving through Muffin, stop. We were driving through the same town, like we both have PTSD over this. We're driving through the same town the second time, and we're both just like, please don't strike twice. Please don't happen again. Please don't blow up again. So this was my booth this year. This was my booth. I'm very proud of this setup. It did not change very much from TechoCon. So the thing that changed was I have retired these pins the capsule acrylic pins are retired, so I had an extra space. So what I did at IsshoCon is I have a couple of new compact mirrors that I'll be dropping a collection for in a couple months probably. I just did the stationery collection. So these are gonna have to wait. And also, if I have not yet regaled you the tale of how some of these came out backwards, I will do that in a second. But I only brought 3 of them because the other 2 came out printed wrong. But I used that extra space. I basically moved, my scrunchies were here, they got moved over here so that I could put the 2 mirrors next to each other. So I have some new compact mirrors. Sneak peek. These I guess will be con exclusive for a couple of months, but we have a couple new compact mirrors. Otherwise, the bigger thing that changed on this booth was the fact that the backdrop stand, you can see back here at TechoCon, it was a floor stand and it was like behind me. So I would sit here, right? Which this is as high as it goes. This was a 7-foot stand. This is as high as it goes. So unfortunately, it was very hidden behind my booth and then behind me. So at TechoCon, I sold almost 0 prints because my big fat head was in the way of selling prints. You couldn't see anything at TechoCon. Surprisingly, I sold like 6 shirts at TechoCon. Which really tells me that I need to like start bringing the actual shirts to the convention and not just samples for people to order online. But I did get some orders online during both TechoCon and IsshoCon. So this time I got a system that I don't know who figured this out. Artist Alley folks are crazy. So somebody figured out that if you take a floor photo stand, hang on. So there's a photo stand that's like a tripod, right? And it's 2 of these, and that's what I had. This is what I used at TechoCon. Somebody figured out that you can unscrew the tripod legs and then buy a completely different photo table clamp photo stand. So once you've hang on, I need to change my eraser. So once you've unscrewed the tripod legs, you can then take this part and it slots directly into a completely different brand of table clamp. So that's what I did. This is now clamped directly to the table, which means I used the shorter backdrop. So it only goes down this far instead of this backdrop goes all the way down. The power of standardized connectors. I don't think they're standardized connectors. It's not a connector. So what it is, actually, hang on. I'm gonna do something incredibly stupid and bring out the physical object and put it on hand cam. I'm gonna do something incredibly stupid. Give me a second. You might hear, stock pipe noise. Okay, so this is the table clamp, right? It's just a pipe. This is the telephoto stand that I have taken the legs off. Normally the legs of the tripod go here. For some reason, and nobody knows why, this pipe fits directly in this pipe. I don't know why. And then I use this little piece from the this piece I think used to go on this stand in like a way that tightened it. And I kind of just use it to keep these pieces a little bit tighter together so they're not like sliding in and out of each other, because otherwise this just slides around, right? Lewd. So I squeeze this in here, and it, sorry, I hit the mic, and it keeps it kind of tight. And I don't know why these fit together the way they do. I don't know why. I really don't know who figured out like that the fact that this one random brand fits directly inside this other random brand, and like how long it took to figure that out and how many different photo clamps they went through. But like bless them because artist alleys everywhere have now relied on this very specific combination of two different brands. Also, I really like this photo stand. Can you see her down there? I really like this particular photo stand because you can take these off and change the size of the opening. So, like, sometimes you have a table that has a really...
Scanning for anomalies now.
Uh-oh. No. Anomalies. Oh, my hand.
Anomaly found.
Stop that! Not on live. Nice fingers. But yeah, you can change the size of this because some tables have like wider lips. So I had to move this down so that it could clamp to the table that was provided at the artist alley. The other new part of my, I guess technically it's not part of my setup. It's part of my setup insofar as it was part of all of the stuff that I brought to the artist alley. One of these chairs. I did not have this for TechoCon, which meant unless I was standing the entire weekend, you basically only saw this much of me. Unless I was standing all weekend, which got extremely painful by the end of the weekend. There were a couple of times when a customer would come up to my table and I would just have to be like, "Hi, I'm down here. Please let me know if you need anything. I'm resting my back." It's the fact that I have, so this is like a 3-foot table, I think. 3 feet from the ground. It's the fact that I have an extra foot, like my display is higher. If I'm sitting, let me get a prior booth photo. So this was IsshoCon last year. You can see that this section here doesn't go all the way across. So like I just had I was just at table height, which means when I sit, you know, I was probably sitting here so that I could be in this little gap. But if I'm sitting at a normal table, you can see things. But I really like this this format here where I have a full like shelf all the way across instead of having this like little half thing with a window here. I really like the full shelf. I think it lets people interact with some of this stuff here. Especially like the shaker charms or the compact mirrors. They can like look at the back sides of things, and you know, open the mirrors up and touch them. Get you one of those lifeguard seats with the that's almost what this is. Like this is a really high chair. And your feet kind of sit here. The window setup looks too much like Lucy from the Peanuts psychiatry stand. My god. Yeah, I think this was giving a little bit like high school presentation on those little like trifold boards. I don't know. Something about this was giving like high school presentation. This is actually even fairly organized. Like let's go all the way back. This is my first booth. I don't know what I was doing here. I don't know what was going on. with this like thing where I was trying to do this like staggered step thing. I don't know what this was. This was just a bad decision. These kept falling over all weekend. Yeah. It's hard to find a perfect setup anyway. I can't blame anyone for going with whatever setup they want, especially when con table sizes vary by quite a bit. Yeah. I wish I had taken a photo of the back of my booth. So from the front, these two look pretty close, where like this is butt up against the front of the table. But from the back, so like TechoCon's tables were really narrow. So basically, my thing was exactly like this, and the table was like here. I had no room back here. The IsshoCon table, I had a ton of extra room. It was like a half a foot of space for me to like set my I had products sitting in here. I had like my my card reader and stuff. I will say, having this little like cube shelf, because I basically if you were to cut like down the middle, I obviously have the connectors have like a thing, a vertical piece like this just for stability. But if you were to cut like in the middle here, it would basically be an open box. So I have a ton of storage down here, which I love. I love this shelf. I love this shelf setup so much. I don't think I'm ever going back to like on the table setup. But IsshoCon's table with like the extra, it was like I think TechoCon is like a 18-foot, or not 18 feet. I think TechoCon is like an 18-inch table, and then like IsshoCon's must have been a full like 2 feet, like 24 inches. But man, oh man, that extra couple inches of table, like table depth, is so good. Secret compartment, yeah. The other secret compartment is behind this sticker storage. I just like stuck random stuff in there. But yeah, that was my setup. I guess we have a whole timeline of setups through the years. OhioCon was interesting because this was actually an 8-foot table. And then we're back to a 6-foot table for these two. So I did not get into OhioCon this year, but I did apply to and get into a new convention called TsukiCon. That's going to be in October, and they are giving us a full 10x10 booth. I don't know if they're giving us tables though. We might have to like bring our own tables, which is going to be interesting. I'm going to have to go buy a card, like a folding table or something. So I don't know what the heck I'm going to do with a full 10x10 area. We're gonna have to do some, I'm gonna have to do some brainstorming. I might actually stream, like, brainstorming some of that, because I have no clue what I'm doing. I don't know if I can even, like, expand. I've done an 8-foot table before, and I've expanded for an 8-foot table, but I don't know what I'm doing with a 10x10 booth. Life-sized Cassia standee. I think that's about all for the booth. I can't really think of anything to talk about for the booth. Oh, I definitely do need to start bringing, like, actual t-shirts to sell. I normally only bring, like, the 2 samples, and then I have a free shipping coupon that lasts the entire weekend. And I do sell a couple of shirts that way, but the thing that I'm realizing is a lot of people come and ask me about the shirts, and then when I say that they're online with free shipping, they, like, get disappointed and walk away. And it's basically, like, turning people down. It's basically like, oh, sorry, no, you can't actually have that. So I need to start bringing actual shirts, because there's a lot of interest, especially in this one, but, like, really in both of them. I need to start bringing, like, actual stock to these conventions, and I don't know how I'm going to do that with, like, the amount of packing that I already have to do. I'm already, like, packing our car full. Do not do this, but I know somebody that cheated by having their shirts that they vendored at a con shipped directly to the hotel they were staying at the night before. Oh, that's a totally valid thing, actually. A lot of people, when they fly to conventions, first, okay, you have to call the hotel and ask if they can take deliveries. Sometimes they can, sometimes they won't. Sometimes they can for free. Sometimes it is a extra charge. But that is a perfectly valid thing. I'm terrified of doing that because, like, what if they don't show up in time and then they get delivered to the hotel after you've left? But yeah, some people who fly to conventions, who do a lot of like cross-country conventions, like especially the big conventions like Otakon or Anime Expo or I think even Anime Boston, stuff that like you fly in for, it's actually cheaper to get stuff shipped than it is to check your luggage sometimes, especially if it's like over a certain weight. So yeah, that's why I said don't do it yet. Oh, it was, I kind of talked about this when I was con prepping last not last week, but like the Wednesday and Thursday before. Because some of my pins, these where are they? These acrylic pins that you can't see because of the angle, these like didn't show up until literally the Wednesday before we left. And like I was halfway considering like, do I need to call the manufacturer and ask them to ship these to the hotel? Are they going to show up in time? They did. I got a shipping notification the Monday before we left, so I was like, okay, well, they're gonna show up. It's fine. They're either gonna show up or FedEx is gonna screw me over. But it's out of the manufacturer's hands either way. It's one of those things that is fine if the supply chain works properly, but that's a big if. It actually, it probably would have screwed me over because of the storm, if I had done that for IsshoCon. And I say that specifically because I know that IsshoCon had t-shirts for the VIP attendees that did not show up at all because of the weather. And also, they only got like one shipment of lanyards in. So like basically nobody had lanyards. UPS shut down 2 days before the storm. Really 2 days? Jeez. But yeah, IsshoCon basically nobody had lanyards. So Thursday or Friday during setup, I think it was Friday morning during setup, one of the staff members was walking around just like telling all of the vendors like, hey, if you have lanyards for sale, if you have lanyards, you should post on our Discord and say that you have lanyards because we don't have our lanyards. Get that bag, sell those lanyards to the attendees who need a lanyard for their badge, which was really funny. So yeah, I definitely know that the supply chain got ultra borked by this storm, and if I had like shipped anything to the hotel, I don't think it would have arrived. But speaking of hotel, I think I just like the vibes at hotel cons way more than convention center cons. Okay, so as much as I want to you know, expand and grow my business and do more conventions, God, I love a good hotel con. I love a good little community, like everybody's in the same building all weekend, um, having breakfast together, you know, kind of convention. You pass everyone on your way down, you know, in the morning. It depends on the hotel, IMO. Yeah, that's true. I think so. I mean, my sample size isn't great, but I think the vibes at a hotel con are just different than a convention center con. Sometimes it's great, but I've heard nightmares from some Florida circuits on their hotel cons. Really? Oh, I don't know. I think I would rather have a mediocre hotel con than a mediocre convention center con. I don't know. Um Because like you can get really bad convention center cons too. And I think that happens a lot more when a convention tries to expand before it's ready. Where they will expand from a hotel into a convention center and they like can't, they don't have the attendance numbers for that, and then it just feels dead. It's like dead and like super mismanaged, and I don't know. I know my sample size is really small, but like I just love the vibes. I just love the vibes. And I thought this about Anime Crossroads too. Like I really liked the vibes of Anime Crossroads. Even if like it was a very small convention. I don't know. It was cute. It was cute. The hotel that we were staying at was undergoing construction though, and like I think the construction itself was paused because of the weather, but it was still very much like there were taped off areas and stuff. Also, the elevator was cursed. I got on at one point. I needed some utensils for dinner, because we pack our own food instead of spending like $50 a night on hotel food, or concessions or whatever. So I forgot to pack utensils. Thankfully, the hotel lobby had utensils, but like, I needed to go down and get utensils on Saturday night, which was the busiest night. I got on 8th floor, top floor, went, me and like 7 other people are trying to get to the lobby. We press lobby, right? And of course, as this thing is going down, it's opening on every floor, and every time we have to be like, sorry, it's packed, we're all going to the lobby, Sargi. It reaches floor 2. It decides it's gone down enough. Even though we pressed lobby, it doesn't care. It's going back up. It went all the way back up to the 8th floor. And every time we're seeing the same people that we passed on the way down going, ha 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 ha, it's going back up now. And then it did the same thing on the way down the second time. So we're just like, hello again. It's us. This elevator is still full, and we finally get to the lobby. I think what it is there's an amount of solidarity in a hotel con that you don't, it's just missing a little bit at a convention center. Well, it was little things like the solidarity of anytime the lobby or anytime the elevator actually reached the lobby, it was everybody who was on the elevator and everybody who was waiting for the elevator all like at the same time was just going, yay! We're here, we reached the lobby. And it's just little bits of solidarity and community like that. It's just so fun. I don't know. I think the vibes at hotel cons are just the cutest. Also, the staff at this convention is amazing. I kind of like hinted at this before when I was saying that the staff person walking around telling us to like get that bag and advertise our lanyards on the Discord, but like you can tell that the showrunners for this convention are like really pouring their heart into it, and they're having a good time doing it too. Like they're not, I don't know, sometimes you get a showrunner that kind of feels like, the staff is not phoning it in necessarily, but like they're just trying to get through it, right? They're just trying to get through this event. They're like checking off the list of things that you need to do to run a convention and like not going farther than that. Or worse than that, you get stuff like corporate cons that like they're just in it for the money. This staff, okay, so first off, we get to our table on Thursday for setup, and there's goodie bags on every single table. And I know some conventions do that, but I've never been to a convention that has a goodie bag on a table for the vendors. These goodie bags are huge. Like there was a Rice Krispie treat in there. There were some like cinnamon sugar cookies, like little individually wrapped Belvita. Lots of it, like con emergency sort of supplies like band-aids and Purell, and there's sticky notes and a permanent marker. I wish I had taken a picture of it or something so that I could, like, you know, have a visual to show you instead of just staring at the same image. But it was really cute. And on Sunday, because of all of the like weather shenanigans that were happening, um a couple of the staff members started putting together goodie bags for the volunteers, and we were not like necessarily suggested or asked, but like we were allowed to like donate stuff if we wanted to. So I donated a bunch of my Stay Weird stickers to the goodie bags, and then also some of the Stay Weird badge ribbons. And it was really cute because what I handed like a stack of these ribbons to the staff member who was like putting together these goodie bags, and he's just like, I kind of want to keep one of these for myself. And I was like, do you want one? And somebody else was like, I want one. And so I'm literally like handing out Stay Weird badge ribbons to the staff. I'm just like, you get a Stay Weird, and you get a Stay Weird. Everybody gets a Stay Weird. Ah, ha 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 ha. But yeah, they're really kind staff. They have a lot of love for this convention, and it's very obvious and like palpable, not only in how involved and like devoted they are to making sure things run smoothly, but like you can tell because the attendees reflect that. Like the staff excitement reflects via the attendees, and the attendees are like also having a great time and super excited to be there. Everybody seemed to be having a really good time and was really excited to be there, and I think when the staff is having a good time, it shows. Oh, the staff also put on a stamp rally, which was really cool. So if you don't know what a stamp rally is, basically it's a little thing where a bunch of artists collaborate and hand out cards, and if you buy at the artists' tables, you get a stamp from each artist, or like different stamp rallies have different qualifications for a stamp. Some people do free stamp rallies where all you have to do is follow all of the artists on social media, and then you get like a small sticker pack or something cheap out of it. Normally stamp rallies are or most popularly stamp rallies are something that like several different artists collaborate on. So you'll have like 4 or 5 different artists that all have, like during TechoCon, I was part of a beach themed stamp rally. So you can see some of my display here for the beach stamp rally. So this was a beach themed OC stamp rally, or mascot stamp rally. IsshoCon put on their own stamp rally this time, and it was like, you know, kind of just meant to be a way to get attendees visiting several different artist booths. So they had like 20 different booths listed down here. They had a ton of different artists involved, and all you had to do is get a stamp from 4 of them. So you didn't have to buy from every single artist, which was kind of nice because it gave attendees choice if they like weren't super into some of the art that was being sold. But I did actually make several sales because of the stamp rally specifically, and it's really cool of the staff. It's really cool of the staff to like put something like that on behalf of the artists, and sort of, I think, shows that they want the artists to succeed. Oh, some very fun folks that I encountered, and by some I mean I think there's only one that I can like really remember. is there was a guy that was walking around with like a tray of literal grass. Literal grass that he grew in a little like box. And it had a sign that said touch grass on the front. Touch grass guy came around twice. Sunday, or was it Saturday's grass? I don't remember if it was Saturday or Sunday. Second day grass was a little bit more wilted, unfortunately. The grass was on its last leg. But it was really funny to have touch grass guy walking around. A couple of other things that aren't like, I guess they're technically attendee related, but they're more like interesting from a vendor perspective. A couple of folks walked up to my booth and one of them said something like, "Wow, I'm seeing a lot more original art lately. I wonder if that's a trend. It's really cool." Like, it's cool to see more original stuff. And like, I always worry as somebody who doesn't sell fan art if I'm kind of like shooting myself in the foot not selling fan art. You know, I always worry that like, oh man, everyone's at the anime convention because of their favorite anime. They don't want to see, you know, dinky weird computer stuff. But I think it's really sweet that at least some people, probably not everybody, I would imagine, but at least some people are actually more excited to see the original art than they are to see, well, maybe not more excited, but they're more excited. They get excited at seeing original art. Whether or not they're more excited than you know, something they're a fan of necessarily, but the fact that the original art excites them at all, I think that's really sweet, and I think it's really like heartening, I guess, to hear and see. Because I always worry that, you know, I wouldn't be as appealing as a original artist if unless words, I wouldn't be as appealing compared to if I had done fan art. But I think it's cool when attendees, like when people come across original art and they're like, "Oh, cool, it's all original. That's really awesome." And I'm like, "Thank you. Thank you. That's so sweet." So the folks that were diagonally across from me, not the apparel folks, not the like super cool apparel folks, but the ones next to them. It was actually two different artists sharing a booth. So I'm gonna show the business card first because I didn't get one of the prints. There's a print artist and a charm artist sharing a booth. So this was their booth, Ainsu. Very, very pretty artwork. I don't know if anybody wants to like look up their website or anything. Very, very pretty print booth, but what I got from them is the Gengar. He's like transparent. You can see my finger through the back, right? I want to chew on this. I want to eat him. I want to just Gummy Ghost, yeah. Forbidden Snackies. This is my son. This is my child. I love them. So this was, I put their name on the Discord. It was like Will of the Woods or something. Yeah, Windy Woods Design LLC. So this biblically accurate angel keychain is from Windy Woods Designs. And I passed this during setup. I was walking around on Thursday during setup, and I was like, I think I need this. I I think I need one of these. I think I need it. I think I have to have it. So during a dead moment on Friday, because I was like, I don't want these to sell out. I don't know how many they have. I don't want them to sell out. So on Friday, like day one on Friday, I was like, hey, I need this. Hey neighbor. Hey neighbor. I need a child. And I'm very excited because I have an Eat-a bag coming. Not soon necessarily. It's actually going to be several months. That just finished the Kickstarter. So actually, can I image address? Does this show up? Sort of. I don't know why it has a whole black side. But I kickstarted my first Eat-a bag. I don't have an Eat-a bag. This is gonna be my first, and I'm very excited because it is not PU leather. It's canvas with embroidery, and that's very important to me because I hate PU leather. But I'm very excited to put biblically accurate angel into this Eat-a bag that like matches its colors perfectly. It's got, you can kind of see that it has these like D-rings on the inside to hang charms on the inside. So I'm excited because like otherwise this thing is gonna get real dirty if I hang it on the outside because it's a puffball. So I'm gonna be very happy to have like a protected inside place to put this guy. Muffin already thinks this is a toy. She has already licked it. And I have to keep it away from her. So, you know, my daughter is very interested in terrorizing this child. Thank you for linking their Instagram. Thank you, Itinerant. I do want to show off the other. Hang on. Gotta grab them. I do want to show off the other stuff that I got. These are for Dai and Gaspo and Aranel. So if you are one of those people, avert thine eyes. Ready? This is gonna be fast. This is gonna be fast. Eh? 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 Pretty? And also, child? Child? Blah. Oh, baby, yes. And then lastly, it's hard to show this off because it's so shiny. It's actually difficult to show it off. Those were souvenirs for friends. Okay, Dai, you can look again. Yeah, those were my con goodies. And those two were so freaking nice. They came and picked up some stuff from my table as well. And it was, I don't know, it was really nice meeting people. It's always so good. It doesn't matter like what kind of thing they're vending. I've been next to like crochet artists and plush makers and like other like crafts people. Everybody is always so nice. I love meeting other vendors. It's so much fun. But yeah, that's how IsshoCon went. Did I go to any of the con events after hours? I did not. I'm gonna be honest. After a day of vending, literally the last thing that I want to do is like go attend night parties. I wanna go back to my hotel room and eat dinner and sleep.